The most common question I get on a daily basis is, how many sets? How many sets should I do per workout? How many sets should I do weekly? How many sets should I do per muscle group? And with all the guidelines and recommendations thrown out today, most people expect a straightforward answer to this question. But the point that almost everyone seems to overlook is the fact that not every set is created equal. For example, if someone says to me, "Hey Pete, how many sets per muscle group should I do per week?" There's really no way to answer this accurately, because the exact exercises you perform and the exact intensity level is much more important than an arbitrary number. For example, most people will say that 10 to 20 sets per body part per week is ideal. Let's say you train each body part twice per week. If you train the chest on Monday and Thursday, that'll work out to 2 workouts per week, done with 10 sets each. Now, if your chest work consists of 5 sets of flat bench and 5 sets of incline dumbbell on Monday, and 5 sets of incline barbell and 5 sets of weighted dips on Thursday, all done with an average intensity of 1 to 2 reps left in the tank, that's going to be a lot harder to recover from than doing the same 20 sets weekly that consist of something completely different. Let's say 5 sets of incline machine press on Monday, along with 5 sets of incline flies, and then 5 sets of pec decks and 5 sets of body weight dips done on Thursday, performing all these working sets with 3 to 4 reps left in the tank. Same 20 sets weekly, but it's going to result in very different levels of fatigue and stimulus. At the same time, 20 working sets for a large muscle group like legs, done with high demand exercises like squats and deadlifts, that's going to be much harder to recover from for the majority of people. But 20 sets done with leg extension, leg curl, and leg press, that's not going to be nearly as taxing. You also have the question of how many sets you should perform in a single workout. A 20 set workout done with 10 sets for biceps and 10 sets of triceps, it's not going to be very demanding on recovery, especially if they were all isolation movements. Now, try doing 20 sets split up between squats and deadlifts, and tell me what that feels like. That's generally why I don't like arbitrary guidelines, as it's not factoring in how hard someone's training and what exercises they're picking. And what happens with most guys is they'll follow a set number of training sets per week. Let's say they're doing a program that has them training their back with 20 sets a week. They recover fine. Then they get this idea in their heads that they need to train with 20 sets per week. But they were doing pull downs and machine rows for 90% of their work. But if they moved over to a plan that incorporated barbell rows, T-bar rows, heavy weighted pull-ups, and hip hinges, they might find that 20 sets per week is just too much to recover from. And they might find that 10 to 14 sets per week is more reasonable. So the point of this video is not to say that counting your volume is dumb or that certain exercises are better than others. It's to point out that if you're looking for a blanket answer to the question, how many sets should I do? You need to understand that the exercises you perform and at what intensity level you perform them is always going to be more important than the total number of sets. So even if you think you found what is the ideal number of sets for a specific body part, for a workout, or even for a week, keep in mind that the number is likely to change depending on what exercises you do. Not only that, but that number is likely to change as you become a stronger, more advanced lifter. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. My personal advice is forget about meeting some standard of total sets. Train with the volume that you can recover from and grow from based on the movements that you're performing. If you're recovering just fine and you're getting stronger and performing better, your volume is perfect. Now, if you're recovering just fine, but you're not seeing an adaptation, like getting stronger or bigger, you can likely add in more work. Try increasing a few sets for that body part. And if you're someone who's not recovering between sessions, you likely need to back off some of that volume. Cut a few sets from your workouts until you start to see performance and strength increase. That's likely the sweet spot for volume for you. I always like to start training with the lowest volume I need and make the base of that volume bigger, more compound movements. Then if I determine I need to increase my volume, I add sets by increasing or adding less demanding exercises. I might start out with 10 sets per week of chest training, and that's made up of big compound pressing movements, flat and incline barbell and dumbbell presses. And then, if I determine I need to add more volume, I'll increase by adding flies. This is an approach that can work for any body part. And I highly recommend you guys think outside the box and experiment and find the ideal volume that works for you. And if you want the exact training programs that I recommend to build muscle using proven old school bodybuilding methods, all my old school mass gain programs are down below. And as always, if you guys want to see more of the best original bodybuilding content just like this, make sure to hit subscribe.